Yo, you know what it is, kings and queens. Fat Boy Gains tip on what every king should know. Every king should know is at some point in his life, he is going to have to remind people of how he became a king. At some point in his life, he is gonna have to remind people that he was blessed before he met them. As a young man growing up in Spring Lake, North Carolina, I remember playing spades at a young age at the kids' table and listening to all the grown-ups talk. And I remember my father, a proud, strong king of a man, telling this story. At the time, I really didn't understand what the story meant, but he would tell it quite often to different military personnel that would come by and play spades with him. Again, I never really truly knew what it meant until I got to my mid-20s. I always did understand though how that story looked and made him feel the fire in his eyes. The story is about a lion who is king, and everybody feared his roar. He would sit up on his pride rock and just let loose, shaking the core of anyone who could hear it. Everything so happens, time passes. His roar was still ferocious. People were still very, very fearful of the mighty Lion King. But as time passes, he had some sons, some baby cubs, and the hyenas, the other lions in the pack, the female cubs, everybody throughout the jungle started noticing his roar was loud but wasn't as ferocious. But what they really truly noticed were his baby cubs were starting to play with him. Chip on his toes, bite on his toes, bite on his beard, bite on his tail. And the hyenas and everybody else that could hear his roar started thinking, hey, the king is getting soft. He's letting these little cubs pick on him. So the hyenas, the other lions that were up and coming, started getting closer to Pride Rock, started noticing more and more and more these little cubs picking and playing on the dad, thinking he was soft, up until the point to where the hyenas and other lions started challenging the king on Pride Rock. So came the day the king would still not flinch. As the hyenas and other lions started getting closer to Pride Rock, the little baby cubs were chewing on his beard, chewing on his tail, chewing on his toes, and he didn't flinch. But again, the day came to where another lion from another pride challenged the great king. And as a king does, he said, I completely understand where you think you're at. I accept your challenge, but sent an invitation for everybody to come and see. Hyenas, other lions, other kings, everyone to come and see this epic duo. So the day came, everybody in the kingdom and then some came to watch the king stand his ground. There were murmurs in the crowd. The king is becoming soft. He's letting the cubs chew his mane. The king is letting them chew his tail. The king is letting them play on him. The hyenas are cackling. We're getting closer and closer to Pride Rock. Other lions are saying the king is becoming soft. So the crowd gathers around. The challenger comes up, big, strong, beard, big mane, beard. And the king steps in. The crowd doesn't split like they normally would. The king has to edge his way in there. The king gave a roar out, but it didn't resonate. So the king, unfazed by the masses, not running to the heels when he roared, snapped, killed the challenger. But the king wasn't done there. He started slashing everybody he could get his teeth, his hands, his claws on, ripping through the crowd. People were scattering everywhere away from Pride Rock, screaming for their lives. But the king wasn't done yet. He killed and pillaged until the early morning, until people begged for the roar, so they didn't get the teeth. So kings, at some point in this journey that you call life, you are gonna have to show people why and how you became king. Over this long period of being a king, the roar will lose its effect, and you will have to show people the teeth. You are gonna have to show people that you were blessed up even before you met them. You're gonna have to show the masses that you don't care if you eat at the table alone. You will wipe that whole table out and start fresh. So kings, I hope this story resonated with you as it did with me growing up and up until this point. I hope that when the time comes, your roar and your teeth are ready for battle. As always, kings and queens, a little food for thought is a king only needs a kingdom to be a king. He doesn't need a queen. He doesn't need jokers. He doesn't need friends. All a king needs to be a king is a kingdom. So get out there and build your kingdom, and the right masses will be around you. As always, kings and queens, stay starving or go hungry, baby. Let's go, Fat Boy Gains.